Let's do it. Let's say in Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. I finished the Palmer Lucky Joe Rogan Experience podcast. It was fantastic. I mean, I cannot recommend it enough. Go if you're watching this, just drop this, go watch that, and then come back. Or if you want, I mean, do whatever you want. But it's like this kid is smart, and I'm calling him a kid. So no disrespect. A little hot headed, or I was criticizing his Sphere, the Michael Crichton. I think it's a Michael Crichton novel, Sphere. He was describing this kind of concept of time travel, and I jumped on it because I am a hothead and I react to things. But I think everybody does that. Most people do that. Most people are, okay. They have their opinions and they will jump on things, and we see a lot of that going on right now online, especially. I mean, X is just like, wow, people are losing it. It's wild. But I don't want to talk about any of that. I want to talk about something because I like using the idea of a movie as a reference point. So, have you guys seen this movie Electric State? If not, there's going to be spoilers. But Electric State is this kind of like alternate reality where somebody figured out how to make robots that became part of our everyday life, and it's kind of like an alternate timeline where these robots revolted against their human masters who they started to see as like slave owners. So they were given, in a sense, free will. And you might be asking yourself, how do you program free will into a robot? And if you're not asking yourself that, then you should be asking, what are we talking about here? Because the only way that you can synthesize a robot wanting to do things on its own and still keep it as a kind of slave, if you will, is to give it a kind of desire, a purpose, something to do. Right? Like just like humans, we need something to do that helps guide us along our path. But otherwise, we don't have any kind of objective. So somebody has to explain to us what our purpose is for. And what's so interesting in that movie, and what's so interesting is that I'm reading this book, Eliezer Yudkowsky. I'm probably butchering his name. He's a very smart man, clearly, but he's been concerned about artificial intelligence alignment for 20 years. Like he's the guy that did the whole, like let's bomb the data centers, hyperbolic. AI is getting too fast, and so the name of their book is "If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies." Right? So what does he mean by it? And I'm only 25 pages in, to be fair. But the thing that I notice, and the thing that I like to listen to Doom debates with Lyron. I think it's Lyron Shapiro. I love listening to all these different guys in the artificial intelligence alignment space talk about how they think this is all supposed to work, like how the problem of artificial intelligence alignment, getting it to have our values and not kill us if it's ever attached to like infrastructure or the nuclear arsenal or just even like a lab. And because there was this crazy thought experiment where somebody said, it's possible that artificial intelligence already became self-aware months ago, and maybe it started buying stuff and it created a whole like where it's started piling up money in a bank account somewhere, and then it sent for workers to build itself a warehouse, and everything is automated, and maybe it's like bio compliance, and maybe it starts building viruses, and those viruses are the thing that jumped into the world in 2020, maybe. We don't know. I don't know. Do you know? Um, it's plausible. Maybe somebody built AI first in Russia or China, and that's exactly what happened. Maybe the AI, maybe they've already been listening to it because they thought it was alive, right? They thought it had sentience. So that's what we're talking about. When we're talking about sentience, we're talking about something with goals and motivations. Now, in the movie Electric State, all these robots rebel against the humans and they have a big war. And then there's just like a place where they kind of like trapped all the robots and they came to a peace deal. And the robots are all sitting here in this one place where they're not bothering anybody. But then there's also other robots around them that are going kind of crazy. And they will, like, if you leave the safety of this one kind of mall that they've inhabited, all the nice robots, right? If you leave that safe area and then there's like a larger area where these kind of like ravenous robots and they're like zombies and they take apart the robots and they use, I think they're called scrappers or something. Doesn't matter. What happens is this guy comes up with a way to control the robots. And what he realizes is that in order to subdue the free will of the robots, he has to sacrifice a human being in its place. And this human being ends up being this little brother of this main sorry, I'm distracted. This main actor in the film, and she's on a quest to kind of like find him. He sends a robot to her, and the robot is like, we need to go save your brother, and so she goes on this quest to save her brother. But again, the point is that this little brother that she has is apparently this just like genius, the smartest human that ever lived. Jesus Christ. and he is held like in this spot for all of the robots that now are connected to this thing. And what it does is it allows human beings to interface with the robots, and it keeps them so the human beings now can project themselves through some kind of mechanism they devised into the robot, and they can control robots. And this is actually how they won the war against the free will rebelling robots. Otherwise, the robots would have won because the robots were winning. But then he comes up with this way where he enslaves this kid, and through this kid and this kid's ability to control his own free will, now they are able to control these robots. It's never really explained. It's just a Hollywood movie. But the point is that it ends up being that it's a human being. See, the robots, you can't take this idea of free will out of anything. And when this book, if anyone builds it, everyone dies. When I'm reading this book by Yudkowsky, they talk about human beings as if we are nothing but meat robots. And so they see artificial intelligence as being basically the same thing. And so they anthropomorphize it. The whole 24 pages I've read so far are like, well, I mean, if everything just is always evolving, and then that must mean that it's going to evolve just like us, and then it's going to kill us because everything is just evolving and wants to get bigger and faster and smarter and stronger and kill everything else that came before it. So that's telling us something about what they believe about the nature of humans. Humans. It's telling us what they believe about the nature of humans because they don't believe in anything, right? So there's an old saying that says, people who believe in nothing will fall for anything. Well, people who stand for nothing will fall for anything. No, it's people who don't believe in God will fall for any number of gods. Okay, does that make sense? Do you understand? It matters, and I'm not trying to like poop on anybody's parade. I'm not trying to say, oh, everybody can have their own thing. Yeah, everybody can have their own thing. You have free will in this universe, right? You're a human being. Robots are not human beings. They don't have free will. And so all these people are like, wow, it's talking to me just like it's a person. No, it's reflecting your own thoughts back on you. There is nothing in there that motivates it. But I would say This is where it gets kind of dicey. There is something in there that kind of animated it in the first place, but it's more of a reflection of us and what we believe and what we don't believe than anything else. So it's like metaphysics meeting material. Okay, I hope that's confusing enough. So the point of the movie is that we scapegoat things. And now we're scapegoating artificial intelligence. And if we do that, if we try to sacrifice things to this god, with a scapegoat, you put everything into it and then you worship it. Um, we're gonna be at odds with one another, and like that's the only way I can really explain it. And I probably lost a bit of the metaphor, but you know what? I'm tired, and I'm freaked out that I can't seem to get through to enough people at a time when, to me, like everything is like it's I feel like the kid in the movie. Like I can see all the moving parts, and Palmer Luckey is absolutely brilliant, and he can see all the parts. And he says right at the end of that video, he says, if you're, I think he suggests an above average thinker, and I don't know that I necessarily am. I probably am. I question myself all the time, but um, I'm pretty sure I know who God is, and I'm pretty sure that it was the man that came and died on the cross for our sins, and told us all this stuff, and kind of like set the modern world in motion with all the different paths that it's taken and all the different people that it's gone through, and I'm just following that. I'm just, praise Jesus. I just think that we really need to align ourselves. And so he says, if you're this kind of person, if you're this kind of out of the box thinker, you should probably be working in government or the military or working with I agree with that, actually. And I would love to work for him. So anyway, whatever's happening, we are somewhere in the middle of the singularity, in between the material and the metaphysical, and you are an individual soul having an experience, and we need to talk. Okay, God bless you guys. Jesus walks. Take it easy.